Did you watch The Flash last night? I did, and the only thing I can say is so much for my Wells' future Barry theory. But seriously, it was a great episode, and the last 10 minutes made it well worth the wait. So let's recap a bit, and then we'll talk about the last part, and some questions I still have, and some questions you still might have. And it goes without saying, spoilers ahead. The episode starts out with Barry and Linda on a date, which turns into an awkward double date, which I described on Twitter as watching a bus full of stuffed teddy bears get hit by a train, then catch on fire, and then explode. Eddie gets called away with Barry following close behind, because season 2 and 3 Spartacus killed a guy in the morgue to find out who killed his brother, that person being Joe, by the way. On the way there, Barry's running and sees himself running next to him. He gets a bit freaked out by this and tells Dr. Wells, but he says they'll deal with it after they catch Spartacus, who Cisco has dubbed the Weather Wizard. And from there, it's really the Weather Wizard trying to kill Joe, and maybe not surprisingly, Joe's trying to keep everyone safe. Even with Barry's powers, he wanted him to stay out of it. But the conflict does have some collateral damage, and the Weather Wizard ends up kidnapping Joe. Okay, now for the good stuff. Cisco starts thinking about the stuff that happened the night they caught the Reverse Flash. When he checks out everything and finds a hologram of the Reverse Flash, when he turns around, Dr. Wells is there. He then explains to Cisco who he is. His name is Eobard Thawne, a distant relative of Eddie Thawne, and he needs Barry's speed to return to his time. He also says it was never his intention to kill Nora, he was there to kill Barry. And how is he in two places at once? Well, he can move so fast he can create an after image of himself, so it looked like the Reverse Flash was beating him up. He then kills Cisco after telling him he was the closest thing he had to a son. But don't feel too bad, because at the same time the Weather Wizard is sending a huge tsunami towards Central City, and the only way for Barry to stop it is to run up and down the coast, making a wall of wind. It seems to be working, but Barry starts running so fast he travels back in time a few days, to the exact same place he saw himself at the beginning of the episode, therefore erasing the events of the last few days and changing the timeline in the process. And there you have it, we finally got the answers we were looking for. Even if it wasn't a big surprise when Wells finally said who he was, the way it played out on the show is what really hit too hard. Now I still have a few questions, like didn't Wells say his speed force was unstable? Well, it seems pretty stable if he's doing all this running around and using the after image ability he has. What about the streaks that night Barry's mom died? One is solid red and one is solid yellow. Barry's is kinda orange, and Will's streak is red. And where's future Barry? If Wells came out of the Speed Force, wouldn't that mean that future Barry came out somewhere too? Or is he still stuck in the Speed Force, therefore causing the crisis that was seen in the newspaper from the future in the first episode? Or maybe I'm just overthinking everything. Either way, let me know what you think down below, and while you're here, maybe check out some of the other videos we have on the channel.